show Sunday Night Football and Super Bowl 56, only on NBC.
Sunday night, we are running everybody in our house. Energy! Put your arms away, please, from start to finish.
Waiting all day for Sunday night, let's get it.
You thought nothing could surprise you. You thought you'd seen everything, but you never saw me coming. All eyes on me, ready or not.
A bullet from Justin Herbert.
Touchdown Detroit Lions! They've done it!
You can't stop what I got, ready or not.
You ready, Dalton? I'm ready.
So you better get ready.
Let's go, baby. Chiefs on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Ready or not, down zone, you best get moving. I'm about to change the game.
Pass toward the end zone. Gronkowski's got 2 today.
I'm rolling with Craig. Ready or not, you can't escape.
Extra 10. That's how you do it.
You can't stop what I got, ready or not.
My goodness. He makes the grab.
Let the show begin here.
Talk about unseasonable. It's 57 degrees in Kansas City in December. That's okay with the barbecue-infused crowd. There are 76,000, most of them in the parking lot right now. They're going to go inside and make Arrowhead one of the loudest stadiums in the league. Slow start for their Chiefs this year, but Patrick Mahomes has got the sweatshirt with his own logo on it. He's got everything under control. They've won 4 in a row. On the opposite side, Teddy Bridgewater and the Broncos. Just a game back. They've won 3 of their last 4, and they are very much in the AFC playoff mix. We have Denver and Kansas City, the lead in the AFC West, in the holiday spirit on the line on Sunday Night Football. And as always, we begin with Football Night in America, and we welcome you in. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Drew Brees. Gang's all here. You'll see everybody here in the next couple of minutes. Things are tightening in the AFC West. The Chargers won. The Raiders are down 2 with 37 seconds, getting the ball back out in Vegas. There's a chance we could have a 4-way tie in the AFC West as we head into the last third of the season if the Broncos pull the upset. I want to focus on the home team, the Chiefs. Not the best start, getting going now. How do you see Kansas City in this AFC West race?
Yeah, I still think they're one of the more dangerous teams out there. You know, let's not forget this is the team that last 3 years have been in the AFC Championship game at least, and they've played a lot better as of late, especially on defense. But they're playing their 3 divisional opponents here over the next 3 weeks, so we're going to find out a lot.
And Drew, this is the show me state, Missouri. They still have to show me. This is a talented team. They've got a great offense, but they're not playing that way. We're still seeing misfires from Mahomes. We're not seeing the explosive offense. Denver is a very good defense. They're going to have to prove it to me tonight, Kansas City.
If there has been one theme in this NFL season, it's when you know what's going on, it changes. And that happened a little bit today as we talk about what hit us from the early games. It's one of the teams in the AFC West that caught your attention.
Yeah, how about the Chargers? They went on the road, beat arguably one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now in the Cincinnati Bengals, and they did it with defense to start. They were able to stop Joe Mixon in that run game, which allowed them to tee off on Joe Burrow in the passing game, and they created 4 turnovers, which gave great field position to their offense, allowed for some of these big explosive plays. Justin Herbert pushing the ball down the field. Really a good win for the Chargers on the road.
Speaking of hottest teams in the AFC, how about the Miami Dolphins? 1-7 start. They never gave up on their head coach, Brian Flores. They're playing great defense. Tua Tagovailoa, very efficient in the red zone. They've won 5 in a row.
Tua's been impressive, too. We don't talk about him as much as Burrow and Herbert, the other quarterbacks in the first round of that draft, but he's coming along. High percentage passes, not necessarily highlight passes. For the highlight passes, so we have Maria and Chris for us. We welcome them in.
And that's all Chris wants to talk about, obviously.
Just the highlights.
Yeah, there's a quarterback that came back to the lineup, so I know he's got to make it into your best throws. But what are some of the best ones you've seen so far, week 13?
Well, he doesn't have to, but we got to give him some props. And let's go to Chicago. Kyler Murray, I mean, hasn't played in a month. Looks sharp. I mean, right on the money here. Early on in the football game, perfect throw to DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins, we weren't sure he wasn't going to play. He wasn't even out there doing warm-ups. Who needs warm-ups? Just go out and catch touchdown passes in the game. One of the throws of the day by Kyler Murray. Oh, yeah, it's Brady and Gronk time. This is what they do. One-on-one with whoever it is on Gronk. I don't care. It's a mismatch. Brady puts it on the money. Touchdown, Bucs offense. Brady, we're rolling today. Oh, baby, Detroit Lions. That's right, Jared Goff getting the ball late. We got to give him some love. Lots of kneecap eating out there today for the Detroit Lions fan base. Way to go, Jared Goff. and Dan Campbell.
An incredible way, a dramatic way to get your first win in 364 days. If you're a Lions fan, congratulations. We'll get you the highlights a little bit later. But first, we got to get it to the guys who are always winning because they're on the road every single week. Jack Collinsworth and Rodney Harrison. Take it away, guys.
Maria, this town is coming off a November heater, and you can hear it. Hey, Wolf, can we get this crowd going one time? We got signs out here. It's a wild atmosphere around Arizona. That other red team, they were able to keep winning during their month without Kyler Murray. They got their man back today, and he elevated everybody's game.
Absolutely, and I'll say his defense, the defense was outstanding today. I thought they did an excellent job. It was all over the place. And it's really been the strength of their team. It's been the defense, and 4 interceptions, 3 sacks, a bunch of pass breakups. This defense was flying around. You look at Chandler Jones, he's really been great this year. You look at Byron Murphy, Buda Baker, they just continue to make plays. And if they really want to go to the next level, it's not going to be because of their offense, it's going to be because of their defense.
Well, Rod, for me, the best defensive moment came from the Harrison household. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. Young Christian Harrison exploded as a recruit this season. What happened this week, though, for you and your family?
Yeah, it was pretty special. On Monday, which is my mom's birthday, may she rest in peace, he announced that he was going to the University of Tennessee. We're very grateful for the opportunity. He's worked extremely hard, so we are pumped. Rocky Top, here we come!
Hey, and you got a little daughter shout out before we get out of here as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Baby girl, my baby girl, Sydney Scott Harrison. Today is her birthday. She turns 12 years old. I love you, sweetie. Happy birthday to you.
There you go. It's a beautiful day in the Harrison family. The NFL is launching a program of their own to reward fans with virtual tickets. For these regular season games, you can receive an NFT ticket. To see how to qualify, visit NFL.com/tickets/NFT. It is a warm December night in Kansas City for an AFC West showdown. Our guys Michael Holley and Michael Smith team up for Brother from Another every weekday on Peacock, and they gave their thoughts on tonight's matchup.
Michael, as I look at this Broncos-Chiefs matchup, my concern is that there are a lot of people out there like you who view this game as nothing more than a continuation of Kansas City's recent run or a coronation of the Chiefs as once again the best team in the AFC. But you know, I've been on this Denver Broncos team really all season. I'm intrigued by Denver. I like their defense. I like their running game, and I'm a big fan of Teddy Bridgewater. And when he can get the ball to him, that group of receivers that he has. Michael, I would not be shocked if Denver made this a much closer game than Vegas thinks. Kansas City's getting 9.5 points, a 9.5-point home favorite. I wouldn't be shocked if not only did Denver make this a closer game than that, but Michael, given this season, given all the upsets that we've seen, this league, would you be surprised if Denver pulled out a win?
Yes, I'd be shocked. And I'm going to let you get away with the people like me comment because we're family and this is how we get down. But I understand why the line is as big as it is. I understand why most people in the United States of America think that Kansas City is going to win this game because the Chiefs are showing that they've got a different dimension. They got a different layer. We're so used to the offensive exploits of Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. What they're doing is shutting teams down defensively, and that's going to take them back where we thought they'd be at the beginning of the season, probably to the conference championship game. That's a prediction. Is that a prediction?
Let me tell you something, man. Denver's being doubted and disrespected. They did not get that memo that this was some kind of transition year. Do not sleep on the Broncos tonight.
Okay.
You can catch our guys on Brother from Another every weekday, 3 p.m., plus every Tuesday, Roddy and I team up for Safety Blitz at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's a shot of Pat Surtain, the second who was the star in Denver's big win last week. And Rod, it is a pleasure to be joined by a man you played against, former All-Pro quarterback Patrick Surtain, known around Denver, though, as the father and high school coach of the Broncos, 9th overall pick. What's been the best part of having a front row seat to this football journey?
You know, it's crazy, Jack. Actually, his first game in Little League at 5 years old was in this stadium.
Really?
So, you know, just watching him grow and not only becoming a great football player, but becoming a great young man, that's the part I'm most proud of.
When did you know? You know, as dads, we know. You look at our sons and we say, you know what? he's going to be special. When did you know your son was going to be special?
I kind of knew it 9, 10 years old. Just everything just came natural to him. It was smooth to him. It wasn't look like he was trying. And he always had the ability to find the football, and the ball skills were there, since that age. Ever since then, I knew he had a chance to be something special.
Free safety Justin Simmons said that he was the most polished rookie that he's ever been around. What you do when he was 3 or 4 years old? You brought him out there and showed him some technique?
Not quite 3 or 4, but at a young age. Got him on them ladders, man. Just taught him the cerebral part of the game, and his natural athleticism, his God-given ability really took over from there.
And he had a pair of fourth-quarter interceptions in that game last week, including a pick 6. So if I had a camera on you, what would Dad's reaction have looked like?
Oh man, actually they had me on the screen in Denver, man. It was pandemonium. We sit right here in this section, the 100 section, and we always see him, man. When he got that pick and gave the ball to me,
is he giving you the ball right there?
Yeah, that was a pretty special moment, man.
What is the best advice you have given him? Because going to that next level and playing on a professional level, he has to deal with everything. What's the best advice you give him?
You know what? Just stay in the moment and always be yourself. Always, pave a path of your own. Don't go with the naysayers, don't go with the followers, but be yourself. And he's always been that type of guy, to always believe in himself. And I'm just proud of that moment right now.
Man, we appreciate you coming through. Thanks for joining us, man. All the best.
That's right.
To your son as well.
And it always helps. It always helps when they have a great coach, and that's exactly what you are.
Coach of the year. That's right, baby.
Another key member of that Broncos secondary is safety Justin Simmons. His work off the field is the focus of tonight's edition of My Cause.
Last year, we were able to launch the Justin Simmons Foundation, and the mission statement really is empowering and educating our youth, through any means necessary. So sports, education, whatever we can do to kind of level the playing field for those who might not be as fortunate as others, that's really our mission statement and our goal.
Well, I'm here for you.
Working towards the Broncos and the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill downfield. Clyde Edwards-Helaire back in the lineup. Missed 5 games with a knee injury earlier. On the injury report list with an illness on Friday, but he went through walkthrough, and they'll have the running back ready to go. Chiefs-Broncos on Sunday Night Football, but the Sunday highlights now, and we send it over to Maria.
All right, Mike, we're ready to go. Come on, Chris, let's get to
do
it. Indianapolis Colts taking on Houston. Remember Jonathan Taylor? Yeah, he comes in a Sunday as the NFL's leading rusher, has scored touchdowns in 9 straight games, so no surprise here.
Well, you can see dominate the line of scrimmage there. The Texans pushed back in the end zone. Indianapolis offense dominated the game pretty much throughout.
Carson Wentz, nice touchdown score for 2 yards. The Colts lead at 14-zip. I mean, the Colts are rolling to 500.
The Colts are rolling, no doubt about it. They had control of this game from the get-go. Houston just all over the place on both sides of the ball. We know Colts are one of the better teams in the AFC.
Jonathan Taylor, 16 rushing touchdowns this season, ties a franchise record set in 1964. Meanwhile, the Lions and Vikings were wearing special T-shirts and O decals in their helmets to honor the victims of the shooting at Oxford High School in Michigan last week. We take you to the 4th quarter. Lions leading at 23-21 and going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, Lions had a big lead early. Of course, that went away. Jared Goff, horrible pocket presence there on 4th down, but then you got Kirk Cousins answering right back to his favorite target, Justin Jefferson.
182 yards on the day for Jefferson, but with time, the Lions drive all the way down the field, 4 seconds left.
I just can't believe how open the goal line was for them to make this throw. Goff has a good pocket, puts the ball right on the money, but I believe, as Dan Campbell said, he was kind of shocked at the defense and how they covered this one.
Amon-Ra St. Brown with the game-winning touchdown, the first win in 364 days for the Lions, no longer winless in 2021. Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Jets. Gardner Minshew showing up looking like a Top Gun recruit. His first start as an Eagle.
He wants to be a pilot for a Jet.
I see it. Okay, Jalen Hurts is out with an ankle injury, but Minshew connecting early.
He was on fire early. He really was. The defense wasn't playing good for Philadelphia. Minshew in the passing game kept pace with the Jets early.
Minshew looked like, okay, that looks really good. The ensuing drive, though, going for it on 4th and goal, Zach Wilson finding Ryan Griffin.
Yeah, Zach Wilson played well, especially in the first half. Made a number of big plays, and you can see they got 18 points halfway through the 2nd quarter.
But it was all the Eagles offense. Kenny G on the run, 18 yards for a score.
Oh, Kenny G, I know you got him in your playlist for sure.
Keeping it real smooth.
bad. The Eagles team, don't sleep on them yet at 6-7.
Billy improves to 12-0 all-time against the Jets, but I want you to look at this moment. Gardner Minshew with his dad, Flint, after the game. Bring it in, bro. Bring it in.
I love the emotion. That's why people root for Gardner Minshew. He's just an easy guy to root for sure.
Yeah, I imagine that's how Chris and his dad celebrate a very great show afterwards. But Gardner Minshew, 20 for 25. This win couldn't have come at a more pivotal time. Obviously, the Eagles have a bye week next week, and their next 4 games are against division opponents. But this game mattered, and they played well.
Well, they do. Their defense is good. It's not great. But quarterback position, Minshew today, managed the game, scored points when they needed to. And we've hit it on this show the last few weeks. The Eagles' run game, watch out. It's as dangerous as any in football, and it's going to keep them in games. They still got a chance in this NFC playoff picture for sure.
All right, let's talk about another team that was in that rack of highlights. And for that, we go back to Mike Tirico and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and in that spot, Maria, where you're looking at maybe that last NFC playoff spot, Minnesota beat the Chargers, beat Green Bay, had momentum, but they lose to the Niners, and then the loss late to Detroit.
Yeah, and this was a devastating loss. Their offense gives you the lead with less than 2 minutes to go, no timeouts. Chris Sims talked about how wide open St. Brown was on that last touch, but it should never have come to that. 3 times they let Detroit catch balls and get out of bounds. Just very poor defense by Minnesota on that last drive.
That led to the Detroit touchdown from Amon-Ra St. Brown. You mentioned him. Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, joins us for the first time, and you spoke to the man who caught the Lions' first game-winning touchdown of the season.
Yeah, and he said that key play is something they've been running since training camp. It's a very simple concept, and the main objective for Amon-Ra St. Brown was get to the goal line, because if you get tackled short of the goal line, you got a problem. There's no time left. Well, he didn't have a problem getting to the goal line because the Vikings didn't defend the goal line. He told me he was really shocked to see guys 4 and 5 yards deep, and he thought to himself as the play was unfolding, this is going to work out perfectly, and indeed it did.
And Drew, Detroit finally gets in the win column.
Yeah, they do. And congratulations to them and Dan Campbell for just staying the course. They've had so many heartbreaking losses this year, 6 by 3 points or less. And for them to win this week with all the emotions of everything was just incredible.
Yeah, it's been a tough week in Michigan. You mentioned it. Maria showed it in the highlights. And after the game, Dan Campbell dedicated the win to all those impacted by the Oxford High School shootings. That's about 40 miles north of where the Lions play in Detroit.
This game ball goes to the whole Oxford community. All those were affected. And they're in our hearts, in our prayers, and all the families, and not to mention all those that were affected by all of this. The classmates, the brothers and sisters, the cousins, the teachers, everybody.
And the Vikings joined with the Lions, all of the Detroit sports community, the Michigan sports community, really put their arms around the Oxford community. And we think of Tate, Madison, Hannah, Justin, and all those affected by the tragedy this week in Oxford, Michigan.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Sunday Night Football! Everybody watching!
You can hear belief back in the Kansas City air with this 4-game win streak. The Chiefs are riding. The Denver Broncos made their yearly trip to town. They'll have to play tonight without their leading rusher in Melvin Gordon, but Javonte Williams is looking more than ready for this opportunity.
I can't lie. He reminds me of Terrell Davis, Hall of Fame running back. He is tremendous. And the thing that I like about him is his vision. He runs with great vision, no hesitation when he cuts. But what I really love about him is he runs people over. You better come up and put your big boy pads on, because he makes people miss. He runs over you. He runs through you. He's all over the place, Jack.
He's carrying the entire team right there.
And that's what I think the game plan is going to be. They're going to run the football. It's cold out here. It's chilly. It's very windy. I think it's going to be some play action pass and the quick passing game. But they have to run the football.
And how about these wide receivers as well? The Broncos signed Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton to contract extensions here recently. Plus Jerry Jeudy's back healthy. He's contributing. They believe in these wide receivers.
I love these wide receivers. I think they're highly underrated. These two guys are big outside. They got great hands and big red zone targets. But I also like the fact they put Jerry Jeudy back in the slot. I think that's going to really open up opportunities down the field.
And Jerry Jeudy, he led the team in receiving last year as a rookie. He's healthy just in time for this playoff push. Mike Tirico, back over to you.
Jerry Jeudy in college got throws from Tua Tagovailoa. Tua's leading the Dolphins back in the playoff conversation. They're taking on the Giants. And here's Tua to Matt Collins for a 5-yard touchdown.
Red zone key situation. Roll to your left and throw it to the left, Mike.
Great advanced biology. That's a theme. Stay tuned for that. Dolphins up 7. No Daniel Jones neck injury. Mike Glennon starts for the Giants. And it was a struggle for Glennon. But, Tony, that's part of the Miami resurgence of late.
It really has been. Their defense has been phenomenal. It was with a lot of blitzing before this, but today their four-man rush got to them.
No touchdowns, 250 yards. Tua, what does he do here?
Crucial situation. Roll to the left, throw to the left.
Isaiah Ford, the touchdown. Logan Ryan had to defend that for the Giants. And he had this observation.
Look, I don't know if you guys saw my high school quarterback tape, but I'm going to put it out there, emergency. A lot like Tua's a lefty. I can throw 2-yard passes to the left. So I'm accurate, smart.
And let's clean that up because Glennon for the Giants got hurt late in the game. Yeah. They just have Jake Fromm, who they added off of Buffalo's practice squad. So if there was an emergency quarterback, it would be Logan Ryan. So he just wants to let you know he can do what Tua's done. But what Tua's done is working right now for this Dolphins team. Part of a big turnaround for them.
It really has been. Started out 1-7, but they never lost belief in their coach, Brian Flores. The defense started playing better, and you could just see it in these guys now.
And offensively with Tua, you can see they've built this offense to his successes. And it's just the dink and dunk, but it's efficient, and so it works. And when they can take care of the football and combine that complementary with their defense, they're winning games.
Hey, they're 6-7. They go to the Jets. They play the Jets. They go to New Orleans on a Monday night. They could be 8-7 with 2 games left, and that's going to be in the conversation at the bottom of the chase in the AFC. Always in the conversation for the AFC. It's the Chiefs. It's because of that guy. This great stretch of Travis Kelce.
He's having fun.
He always knows where the camera is. Ready for the Broncos on Sunday Night Football.
Celebrating the victory. Presented by Allstate.
Chiefs are picking everything they can find.
Hill in the open field.
He high-fives his way into the end zone, and the Chiefs backups have beaten the Denver Broncos. Mahomes goes a left-handed pass. It's caught. He pulls a Houdini.
Kansas City will survive for a hard-fought victory.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's new Cheetos Boneless Wings and by Abbott, life to the fullest.
Oh, look at the little Mahomie right there. Look at that. I like it.
I love it.
I mean, it's the hairstyle that's taking the nation by storm, certainly. I mean, my son's even trying to do that. He has no chance. Yeah. You might be able to date his daughter. She'll be rich, too. I'll tell you. I don't know. All right, let's get to the points bet pulse, all right? Let's do that. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Hey, this Denver defense, Drew and I'll tell you, they can play some pass defense, that's for sure. They've had answers for Tyreek Hill. Kelce, not so much, so I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you right there. I like Kelce, but let's break down this Kansas City offense. They've shown a little diversity as of late, right? You know, Mahomes has been more patient going through reads. We broke that down a few weeks ago, and then there's a run game, Drew.
Yeah, what I really like is previously, beginning of the season, it was all these RPOs, not getting a lot of action out of the run. Now it's more game plan, gap schemes, pulling guards, tight ends, opening up some big holes in the run.
No doubt, and now you can play off of that. Give another run look. Kelce's in the backfield, fake the ISO, fake the reverse, wide open receiver, Kelce downfield, off the play action, gives the defense more to think about.
And after you've handed it off a few times, thrown it short to Kelce, get a lot of attention underneath, now you can take your shots. You'll get the one-on-ones with guys like Tyreek Hill, and can anybody run with Tyreek Hill down the hill?
No, negative.
I don't think so.
No, that's right, and that's what we want to see. We want to see Kansas City throwing the ball down the field, so they got to do something to bring the defense up. Hopefully they do that tonight. All right, now download the PointsBet app and get betting options you won't find anywhere else. All right, Michael Tirico, back to you.
You got it, Chris. Drew, let's get back to the highlights in Tampa Bay, trying to just really close out the NFC South. They're taking on Atlanta. Team Brady's dominated, including the Super Bowl, and he's got Gronk back, 27-yard score here.
And this makes such a big difference in their offense, especially in the red zone. Big target, and Tom has confidence. He knows what Gronk is going to do down there.
So they were in good shape. It was 20-10 right before half. They're going to try to add on points, but Marlon Davidson, big man, big play. Falcons back in the game.
And this is how you get Tom Brady. It has to be something unexpected that he hasn't seen a defensive lineman covering his running back.
Second-year pro out of Auburn makes a huge play. So it's a 3-point game. Matt Ryan's all fired up, but Brady's back. It's another third down. It's another Gronk touchdown.
Yes, Gronk in the red zone, just putting it right where he can handle it.
And Don Willard, he's a smart official.
He's got the
scouting
report,
right? The defense got the job done. Vita Vea with the sack. Gronk a 2-touchdown day, and here's why.
I had to get 2 tutties today because I was representing 2 causes on my cleats. The USL for military families, and another cleat was the Gronk Nation Youth Foundation. So I was like, I got to get a tutty for each foundation. I'm the only one with 2 causes, so 2 tutties, 2 causes.
Priceless. One of a kind. Good on you, man. The Cardinals, best record in the NFL. Not talked about nearly enough. Their stars are back. Kyler Murray is back. DeAndre Hopkins is back. Let's get them on board in the first quarter.
Yeah, and this is just vintage Murray to Hopkins. Just great timing, great touch, great technique in the corner of the end zone by DeAndre.
Miserable day, miserable weather. Bears did not play well. Andy Dalton to Cole Kmet. Couldn't handle it here. And Budda Baker, the pick and a long return, too.
Their defense, very opportunistic. They've got athletes on that side of the ball, and this is a complete team, Mike.
Yeah, it was a really tough day. Justin Fields out. Dalton picked 4 times on the day. So Arizona's got a 7-0 lead in this mess. And Bears fans can't even get properly prepared. When you're in Chicago and you can't stay dry in a bad December day, you know you got problems. Murray's legs here, 9 yards.
The extra element he gives you in the red zone. You defend everything, take away the passing game. He makes the play.
Here's another element that I love that isn't getting enough attention. James Conner, the ex-Steeler.
He has brought so much to this offense. Toughness, running inside, the ability to catch the football, and scoring touchdowns.
In the NFC, in the conference, 14 touchdowns, most of anyone. How about more Kyler on the ground? 4 total touchdowns in his return. The Arizona Cardinals have the best record in the National Football League. They're 10-2. They're the kings of the road. They've won all 7 away from Glendale. First time in franchise history. They have 2 more road games coming up. And not only have they won all 7, all by double digits. Average margin, 16 points per game in the victory. As we welcome those of you who watched the Ravens, who were sitting on the top record in the AFC, lose that dramatic game to the Steelers. We talk about the team with the best record in the NFC, Tony. Arizona, it's time we start not only paying attention, but elevating them for what they've done on the field.
We absolutely need to. They're playing well. And Kyler Murray, I'm going to give you a name. He reminds me of Steph Curry. He does so much that you have to defend him. It makes everybody else around him better. And they've got a lot of weapons that you're going to have to keep your eye on this team.
I love that. That's a really good one. Let's talk more about the Cardinals and why they're so good as we simplify the game. Powered by Microsoft Surface. Again, Chris and Drew.
Yeah, well, that's right. Coach is right. Kyler Murray gives you a lot to think about. But I got to give Cliff Kingsbury, a lot of credit, too. He's gotten away from just the 4 wide receivers Texas Tech offense. There is more diversity and versatility in this Arizona offense, and I think that's what impresses us, Drew.
Yeah, first things first, they're going to spread you out. You're worried about all these skill players, and then they hand it off to James Conner. He's brought such a physical element in the run game for them.
Yeah, he can run the ball. You heard Coach talking a minute ago. You know, the running the ball, and then the Kyler Murray running the ball in their offense adds another dimension, whether it's him scrambling or the bootleg there.
Yeah, and they missed DeAndre Hopkins, but, I mean, is this just an embarrassment of riches with all of these skill player weapons that they have? You just cannot match up with these guys one-on-one. They're going to find the open guy. Kyler Murray, his ability to find it and run around and make plays, they are tough to beat.
Yeah, they're tough to beat. They got a lot of different ways to beat you, that's for sure, and I think that's why the Cardinals are the best team in football, Mike.
They could be playing Week 18 to close out the season against Seattle for the #1 seed. Welcome to those of you who watch Seattle just beat San Francisco. I want to bring Mike Florio back in because Arizona at 10-2 is a game ahead of Green Bay and Tampa Bay for the best record. And Mike, I want to go back to the Buccaneers. We just showed the highlights of their win. They were in the news earlier this week. 3 players suspended 3 games by the NFL for violating COVID protocols, including Antonio Brown. And game 1 of those suspensions was today, Mike.
That's right. And the NFL and the NFL Players Association came together and issued a joint statement on Thursday announcing that these players had misrepresented their vaccination status. And I'm told that the union specifically avoided the phrase fake vaccination card because there is some concern that there could be federal prosecution of any of the players who did indeed produce a fake vaccine card. Now, as to Brown's future, when he joined the team in October of 2020, head coach Bruce Arians told our Peter King that if Brown screws up one time, he's gone. And I'm told that they actually are considering cutting him. They won't have to make a decision until he's eligible to return to the team. That's in 15 days, the day after they play the Saints on Sunday Night Football.
So that's the story at the top of the NFC South. One other note in the division, the Carolina Panthers fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, today. Entering this week, Carolina was bottom 5 in total yards and passing yards. As we said, we welcome those of you who watched the dramatic finish in Pittsburgh. Baltimore going for 2. Lamar Jackson lays it out there. Mark Andrews can't bring it in. So if Kansas City wins against Denver on Sunday Night Football, 4 teams at 8-4 tied atop the AFC. More as we continue on Football Night.
Simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL.
Right up the gut, and he's in there! They have to have it. This may be a house call. Away from a defender, into the end zone! He's got it! Back to the house for the touchdown! Pouring it on now.
As we rise from the flames. Heart of a lion.
Home run ball left side.
Makes the catch!
Under pressure. Oh, it's time to fire.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go! It's time to fire.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Well, week 13, and the locals know it's a tight 4-team race in this division. How about Andy Reid, man? Looks just like him, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
He even walks like him, to be honest with you.
With a limp.
Denver and Kansas City, they can own first place in the AFC West with a win tonight. And here inside the stadium, Coach Fangio, he has added youth and experience to his secondary, veterans in free agency. Then Pat Surtain with the 9th overall pick out of Alabama. What was his goal with all those moves?
Coach Fangio, he built the secondary to beat the Chiefs. They haven't been great this year, but one guy that's been fantastic has been free safety Justin Simmons. He's been fantastic. The leadership, the playmaking ability, the deep part, but plus he can come into the box. I expect him to see a lot of Travis Kelce. He's a taller 6'2", 6'3" safety. Excited to see it.
You mentioned Travis Kelce. A little windy in here, isn't this? Wind's
It
gusting
is.
pretty good.
Absolutely.
Travis Kelce is the featured man. How many receptions and receiving yards for him tonight?
Well, I think the Denver Broncos are going to double team him, rotate some different guys. I think 6 catches between 75 and 89 yards. 75 and 89 yards.
There you go. You can make your picks along with us on the NBC Sports Predictor app. Maria, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Jack. We'll get you back to the highlights. Jacksonville taking on the Rams. Rams trying to get well, having lost 3 straight, and Sony Michel's going to help with that.
This is how you get right. The Rams need to get underneath the center and run the football. We saw that from Sony Michel. It helped out the rest of their offense, and it helped out Stafford kind of find his groove.
Yeah, there he goes. Finding his groove means finding Cooper Kupp.
That's right.
Yeah, Kupp had his 100th reception in this game, and remember, running back Darrell Henderson was in uniform but didn't play, so a lot of Sony Michel in this game.
Hollywood right here.
Yeah.
Here we go. You know what time it is.
I do. Odell Beckham, guess what?
Odell Beckham.
Second touchdown of his season as a Ram, so that's pretty impressive. Meanwhile, the 49ers taking on the Seahawks. This is an important game for the 49ers. And Jimmy Garoppolo intercepted by Quandre Diggs.
Oh, on the 49ers mistakes throughout the day. And this was a bad one, of course. Jimmy G just throws the ball 10 feet over George Kittle's head.
Garoppolo's mistake means Russell Wilson is going to connect with Tyler Lockett for a 12-yard touchdown.
Lockett, Metcalf, they attack the 49ers corners who are less than all day long with the Seattle Seahawks offense.
All right, fourth quarter, Seattle up 30-23, but Gerald Everett fumbles it.
Gerald Everett had a rough day. He certainly dropped some passes that caused interception. That was his second fumble, and it gave the 49ers second life.
Yeah, a lot of second life there, but on 4th and goal, Garoppolo's pass is deflected and incomplete. Seattle holds on to win it 30-23. Your takeaway from this game?
Well, I'm surprised. You know, I mean, I know the 49ers were shorthanded and had some injuries, but they had a real chance to kind of solidify themselves as an NFC playoff team today. You know, now they're right back in the mix with a whole bunch of other teams. That was a bad loss for them.
Yeah, remember the 49ers won a 3-game winning streak until this loss here today, Mike.
And Marie, you see the Rams over there in the top wild card spot, 8-4. They're a couple clear of everyone else. There's nobody coming from the bottom that you really feel like is going to push the Rams. And I know it was Jacksonville, but I thought it was an important game for the Rams today and Stafford to get right.
I wanted to see if the Rams were going to get their mojo back, do the things that they do, especially get that running game going. I think that's what happened today. Now that sets up Cooper Kupp and Beckham to get the one-on-one coverages. I thought they got back to who they are today.
Yeah, I still question just how good they are based on the 3 losses, and they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to know a lot more next week when they travel to Arizona and have to play them. I think that's when we'll really see where they stack up right now.
Big headlines over here: Green Bay at 2 and Tampa Bay at 3. They're 4 up in their divisions with 5 to go, so they are in great shape. Tony's been asking all year. Chris Jones, terrific player for Kansas City. Get him inside.
Please. I think this is a dominant guy inside. Look how happy he looks. He knows he's going to wreak some havoc.
He tries to do it against Denver on Sunday Night Football. More highlights coming up.
Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
The defensive team has been asked to help to quiet the crowd. We appreciate your cooperation.
The fans get psyched and fired up. Part of the atmosphere that is Arrowhead.
I have asked the defense to help lower the crowd noise. Thank you for your cooperation.
Defensive captains have to do.
Tony and I are sitting here, the older guys are telling the younger guys, Breeze and Sims, yes, that used to happen, right?
They would tell you were too loud?
Yeah,
yes!
The quarterback would say, I can't hear, and the referee would say, quiet down.
All you young guys have it so easy. You know how hard it was for us, Wait a minute, you're over 40.
Well, yeah, I was the one out there who allowed it, or they allowed it to be so loud.
Let's go on the field presented by Hyundai. Let's talk about the young star in the league at quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, Tony.
Yeah, and Patrick has to get back to his game. He hasn't been sharp, but we know how explosive they can be. Hey, let it rip tonight. Make some plays, Patrick.
Drew, here's a guy you got to know in New Orleans, Teddy Bridgewater, now quarterbacking the Broncos.
Yeah, this is a different offense with him out there. You can see how much confidence they play with. He knows how to win games. He's a high-efficiency passer who can push it down the field when they need to. Love his leadership and his moxie, and he's played really well here in Arrowhead last year when he was with Carolina. Let's see if they can do it tonight.
And one thing I think Teddy has going for him tonight, his defense is playing really well. Number 3 in scoring defense in the league. He doesn't have to feel like they've got to go out and score 30 points. Just be yourself tonight.
You think of Vic Fangio, think of how Kansas City's dominated this series of late. It feels like Denver's got a chance tonight. We'll see with our picks coming up in a little bit. We've got highlights. We have playoff implications. Let's hit it. Let's start with Washington taking on Las Vegas. Of course, the Raiders in this division trying to stay close to the top. This is 4th quarter. It's Washington by 2. Taylor Heineke was hit on the arm on that one.
Yeah, the Raiders pass rush got there. Big play. Gave the Raiders a chance. Put them in good field position.
It's a tight defensive game. No offense could get traction throughout. So Washington turned it over. Raiders got the ball. Daniel Carlson from 37 puts the Raiders, who played so many tight games, up 1 inside the 2-minute warning. Heineke had to go on a quick 4th quarter drive this time. He pulls it off here. Adam Humphries, big game.
And this is where Taylor seems like he's at his best in these pressure situations.
Totally agree. Here's Brian Johnson, signed Tuesday because of the hamstring injury to Joey Sly on Monday night. Good on the field goal from 48. And Washington, 17-15. But the Raiders have a shot. Carr, huge arm. Zay Jones, great speed. Deep ball. They're pulling on the back of his jersey. There's no flag.
Yeah, he's behind the defense, and contact there. They let it go, though.
So one last chance with 2 seconds left, down 2. It did get a little bit closer. The Carr's going to let it go and let some of those jumpers down there try to make a play for the Raiders and get a last-second
Darren Waller in this situation. Would have loved to have him, I'm sure.
Good point. He was inactive, and Heineke in Washington to 6-6. Ron Rivera's team has won 4 in a row to the Chargers and the Bengals. The marquee matchup in the AFC with Herbert and Burrow. The picks 6-1 in the draft last year. Burrow banged up early in this one. Uchenna Nwosu hit him, fumbles, but Burrow injured his pinky finger.
Yeah, huge play. Not only the sack fumble, but you see Joe Burrow holding his finger there. It wasn't right after that.
And you see the score. Chargers were up big. Let's make it bigger. Herbert, Jalen Guyton, 44 yards. Herbert threw 3 touchdown passes. They were up 24-0.
We're seeing that explosive offense, and here's some fun.
What is this, the SoFi special? Keenan Allen threw it to Herbert. So it is big deficit time for the Bengals. But they start chipping away. See, they already scored 6. Then Burrow, even with that bad pinky finger, takes off and runs. It's an 11-point deficit at the break. But back to this finger, we kept watching during the game. You could see how much it was bothering him.
Yeah, he tried tape, he tried a glove, nothing was working, and just he showed so much heart today staying in this ball game in this condition.
That's why the city and his team just love that quarterback. Second half, momentum flips here. Cincinnati's on the move. It's Joe Mixon from 7 yards. That's a 2-point game.
And this is what we expected to see. We didn't see a lot of it. The Chargers defense really did a good job on the run game.
Bengals went for 2 early, messed that up, missed a longer extra point. Don't get the 2 here. It's kind of strange and sloppy math. It's a 2-point game. Here's the biggest play of the game. Momentum with the Bengals. It's Mixon on the run. Fumbles. Tevon Campbell picks it up. 61 yards, back-breaking score.
Cincinnati's driving to take the lead. Big play by that Chargers defense.
The score makes it more lopsided as the Chargers pull away, but it's a huge win for Brandon Staley and the Chargers to come on the road in an early game, and in this battle of the top picks, 1 and 6 respectively, with Burrow and Herbert in the 2020 draft, it's a win for the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Man, this feels like it saved their chances to be in the postseason with this victory today.
And I really thought we would see Cincinnati run the ball, dominate at the line of scrimmage. They didn't do it. The Chargers defense took control early, and then the Chargers offense making those big plays.
Credit to the Chargers defense. They stopped the run, which didn't allow them to have a lead. How often do the Chargers get to play with a lead? We got to see that pass rush really tune it up. They made big plays. It was kind of sloppy, 7 turnovers total, but the Chargers made enough plays to win this game. Big win for them in this wild card race on the road.
Including that 2-point conversion. Mike Florio, you talked to the man who threw it, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdown catches, and he threw the 2-point conversion. Based on the Philly special, they have a very creative and innovative name for the play. They also call it the Philly special. They just put it in this week. And I said to Keenan Allen, why are you the one to throw it? He said, hey, I'm the 3rd quarterback on game day. I'm the emergency option. Even so, it was the first completed pass that Keenan Allen has ever thrown in his 9-year career, guys.
And it puts the Chargers and the Bengals the exact same record, and the head-to-head might be huge come tiebreaker time. Speaking of tiebreaker time, things got tighter with what happened in Pittsburgh just a few minutes ago. Here are the highlights of one of the great rivalries in the league over the last 8-9 years. The Ravens and the Steelers. Scoreless, Lamar Jackson, his favorite target, Mark Andrews.
Yeah, got that throw in there in the same. Wasn't a lot of offense for Baltimore, though.
Devontae Freeman slams it in from 3. Ravens up 7-0, his 5th touchdown of the season. Not a lot of offense. I'm going to skip to the 4th. Baltimore's up 7. Here comes Pittsburgh. Big Ben. Deontay Johnson, 29 yards. 1-point game because Chris Boswell shockingly missed the extra point. He's usually reliable.
Close enough where you just have to make a play to win the game, and Pittsburgh's defense comes up with it here.
And after an exchange of field goals, T.J. Watt made another play. One of the 7 Steeler sacks. He had 3.5. Watt didn't practice all week. Ensuing drive, Roethlisberger. Johnson again. 5-yard score, Steelers lead.
Nice route devised against man-to-man coverage.
Pittsburgh goes for 2 and gets it. Baltimore walks it back down the field. It's Lamar to Sammy Watkins, maybe his best throw of the day. 20-19. Ravens are going for 2, and here's why. Injuries at cornerback. Marlon Humphrey injured. So John Harbaugh said, we're out of corners. Let's just try to win this deal here, and here's the play for the 2.
And they've got the right play, misdirection, pass. Lamar just slightly off target.
So the Baltimore Ravens get the win, and we go for our Sunday night game flow presented by Progressive. Maria and Chris.
Well, Mike, you just heard Coach saying Lamar slightly off target there, but that is the game flow, something that you wanted to break down from this game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A little off today. I mean, again, the Baltimore Ravens, it's so Lamar-centric, and the defense isn't as dominant as years past. The run game revolves around Lamar. The pass game revolves around Lamar. So when he's off, it really pops. And, of course, this was a big turnover early on in the football game. Great first drive by the Ravens. Careless mistake. Here, another 3rd and 4. Man, you got Mark Andrews over the middle. This is why the play was designed for that right there. Throws the ball into the flat to a covered Devontae Freeman. They get nothing other than just a field goal. They don't get the first down. Then throws like this, just a little off target. We've seen this the last few weeks from Lamar Jackson. Hey, I hold him to a high standard. I think he's one of the best players in the game. I will say the Ravens put too much pressure on him, and he wasn't his best today.
Well, that was your Sunday night game flow presented by Progressive. Obviously, they were able to overcome some of those issues against the Browns. Not so much here against Pittsburgh.
So, Maria, let's talk about the Ravens. 61 total points scored in the last 4 games. To Chris's point, they're not generating that kind of offense, and they have now brought a lot of folks back into it here in the AFC.
They have injuries to their running backs. That hasn't been the dominant running game. As Chris Sims said, a lot of pressure on Lamar to make plays, but Baltimore just hasn't been sharp. The last 5 or 6 weeks, we're seeing a lot of close games, and today it caught up with them.
Yeah, and you sense that. I think in the passing game, it just has to be more efficient. They're always going to be a run team with their running backs and with Lamar and the threat that brings. But when they get the opportunities for the play action one-on-ones, they need to make those plays if they're going to be the team that they aspire to be.
And I said it earlier today, this is the kind of game the Steelers win. Everybody counts them out. How can you win? Played poorly last week. Mike Tomlin has a way of rallying these guys when they really need it. I think they saved their season today.
3 points. Steelers 144 yards in the first 3 quarters. They had 177 in the fourth quarter. If Marlon Humphrey's out for a while for the Ravens, that's a concern at corner. And you saw those standings? New England's the #1 seed in the AFC. And if Kansas City wins, we'll have 4 teams tied at 8-4 at the end of the night. We're getting set for Andy Reid and the Chiefs. So good over the years, even back to his Philly days, coming off a bye. They're coming off a bye. Vic Fangio's team is always good playing 2 safeties and making you go the long way. And that's giving the Chiefs some problems. What will win out? Broncos Chiefs, Sunday Night Football coming up. The best of it, our picks right after this. Counting down 8 minutes till Sunday Night Football. Can the Broncos do what they have not done in a long time? Come to Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs. They've dominated. They've won the last 11 games against Denver. As we count you down to Sunday Night Football, we bring you the best of Week 13 in the National Football League. And Tony, it is the Detroit Lions' first win of the season.
And one question for the Minnesota Vikings. What kind of defense are you playing on the last play of the game?
They let Amon-Ra St. Brown catch it from Jared Goff. The Lions are 1-10-1. Damaging loss for Minnesota's playoff hopes. Drew Minshew mania alive at MetLife today for the Eagles.
Yeah, you think Gardner Minshew was excited? Get back out there and start again. He was on fire. Very efficient today. Really a nice job.
In for the injured Jalen Hurts. They're off next week. Their last 4 are in the division. The Rams got right. They got the Jaguars, but they got right.
Yes, Sony Michel had a nice day running the ball. That set up a lot of one-on-ones for Cooper Kupp. He took advantage of it.
Rams snap a 3-game losing streak. They head to Arizona. Big one next Monday night in the NFC West. Arizona got Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins back, Drew.
Yeah, we think we've missed this connection here over the last month. 4 touchdowns total today for Kyler Murray.
Best record in the NFL at 10-2 in that division. Seahawks took the lead on this Russell Wilson to Tyler Lockett connection. Last chance for the Niners.
Yes, San Francisco turnovers really did them in. Had a chance there, couldn't convert.
Niners 3-game win streak stopped. Seattle's 3-game losing streak stopped. Let's go to Atlanta, where Tampa Bay is now up 4 with 5 left after Brady had 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah, and as you're watching this game, it felt like they were throwing it just about every play. They must have seen something, and Gronk was one of those matchups.
Tom threw 51 times. They host the Bills. Very good game next Sunday. Washington goes to Vegas. Brian Johnson signed Tuesday. Game-winning kick on Sunday.
Taylor Heineke, again, under pressure, putting them in position to win.
Go look now. Washington's won 4 in a row. They're 6-6. They are in the 6th playoff spot in the NFC at the moment. Miami's making a move here. Tua, lefty quarterback, as good as we've seen since Chris Sims made.
They have found their rhythm on offense. Tua's playing very efficient, and by the way, he loves to roll left.
Miami's won 5 in a row. Chargers and Cincinnati, one of the highlight matchups. Key takeaway game for the Chargers team.
Big play. Cincinnati going in to take the lead. This is at least a 10-point swing and blew the game wide open.
Both are sitting at 7-5 at the moment. That's the 6 and 7 spot in the AFC. The big one late in the afternoon. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Down late, Lamar Jackson to Sammy Watkins. The Ravens down some corners, so they're going to go for 2 here. And Drew, it's a good play call. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I love it. Misdirection. You get your tight end out, and when they say it's a game of inches, that's what they're talking about.
So Pittsburgh gets maybe a season saver. Baltimore drops back. Here's Mike Tomlin on the decision of Baltimore to go for 2.
No, it did not. They aggressively play analytics, and so, from that standpoint, they're predictable.
Predictably unpredictable, right? So those teams, they're 15-14 in the last 29 meetings, decided by a grand total of 7 points. It's just one of the best series, and it always seems to deliver. Let's talk about the takeaways from that, because as you look at the AFC, I mentioned the Patriots now have the best record here. Baltimore's loss and Pittsburgh's win really tightened things up in the AFC.
Yeah, Baltimore reminds me of Pittsburgh last year. They're winning, but they weren't playing good football, and Baltimore's the same way. They've got to get back and get a little sharper.
Yeah, they do. They're not playing very well offensively, or at least you just don't know what to expect each and every week. But if they can get back to where they get the play action more consistent, because they're going to be a running team, and depending on how banged up they are on defense, they're just going to need to make some more of those big plays.
I see Kansas City at 7-4. If they lose tonight, they slide all the way down to the 8th seed. So things are going to really change quickly in the AFC over the next 4 weeks. It's time to decide who's going to win. At least our view. The hometown picks are brought to you by Lowe's. And Jack Collinsworth, you get us started.
started.
Well, Mike, 75% of the country is on the Chiefs following Peyton Manning's dominance in this rivalry. Mahomes has gotten revenge for all of Kansas City by winning 7 straight against Denver. The Chiefs, they're starting to shine again, and they're finally playing some defense. I'm taking the home team out here tonight. Ron, how about you?
It's cold. It's very windy. This is a perfect opportunity for Andy Reid to establish Clyde Edwards-Helaire, not only through the run game, but through the passing game. I'm going with Kansas City.
There you go. Mike Florio, who are you taking?
Well, it's all setting up for the Patriots and the Chiefs as the season gets deeper and deeper. So I think this is just another step for the Chiefs toward what could be Chiefs-Patriots in the AFC Championship.
I'm going with you, Mike, and I'm also going with the Chiefs. Please, 4-9, Chris, do not pick who I choose because I don't want to be jinxed tonight.
Sorry, you're jinxed. I mean, first of all, you're wearing Denver colors, so why don't you go with them?
I'm wearing Rocky Top colors.
But I'm going the Chiefs and Mahomes at home. Yes, I'm taking Kansas City, even though I'm 4-9. Watch out.
Boy, this could be opportunistic. I could close you guys out here tonight, just like the Bucs. But I'm going to go the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a close game, though. I really feel that.
Everything tells you Chiefs, but, Rodney said windy, so it may turn into a running game. I'm going to go Denver.
You're going to do it?
Yes.
Well, you're going to be the only one going Denver. I'm going with the Chiefs. I think they found their mojo, and it's going to keep getting better.
Those are tonight's home
Run it in
team
defense.
picks.
Come on, Denver.
Brought to you by Lonely Tony on the Broncos. It's December football at Arrowhead. First place is on the line in the AFC West. 6-5 Broncos, 7-4 Chiefs. Al, Chris, and Catherine have it for you right after Carrie Underwood. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you at halftime.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes, or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.